Pace car pulls off. We are ready to go green from the Charlotte Road Course. 39 laps around the Roval here, and the stage is going to be 10, 10, and about 20 or just under 20 laps here. Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney lead the field to the green flag in the round of 12 elimination race. Jay, a lot on the line for drivers here today, and we could be in for a bit of a chaotic one here. Charlotte Roval has been host to many chaotic moments in playoff history. We've seen it here in NR2003 ourselves last season. We could be in store for a while one here today.
And Joey Logano, the last driver inside the playoffs right now, starting on this front row, doing a really good job right now, still side by side with his teammate Ryan Blaney, though. So both of these guys actually, the last two inside the playoffs, both of them are going to want to get as many points as they can here in this first and second stage here to try and stay away from Denny Hamlin and Tyler Reddick as well. Kurt Busch, Chastain, 30 and 36 points respectively out coming into this race. You would think both of those guys are in a must-win situation. Martin Truex Jr. already has some right side damage on this first lap as well.
Martin Truex Jr. caught the wall there on the exit of the corner just before the oval entry here. You can see Logano and Blaney, they're still side by side as they head down into this bus stop chicane. Could see a lot of chaos in this specific set of corners and cautions fly right here today. But right now it looks like they're going to get through there pretty good. Logano's going to get the lead. You see everybody getting through there relatively clean. It looks like, yes, everyone's going to get through there possibly. And I don't see any carnage, so we're all good. And Logano's going to lead the way down into this final chicane here of advancing, but he's the only one that has that luxury. And speaking of luxury, I just saw Alex Bowman catch the outside wall there in the background of that 48, but fortunately for him, these next gen cars have been proven to be very durable so far. Talking about the cars being durable, Jay, well, he hit the wall and now he's coming into the pit lane at the conclusion of this second lap, so maybe a little bit of a jumping on the gun there, but fortunately he does have that play or that point buffer, but still not something that he can rely on too much here. Oh, and we got another car pitting. That's Martin Truex Jr. We saw him in the outside wall earlier as well. We already talked about Truex though being very safe there, but two cars in the outside wall coming into the pit lane, both being playoff drivers here.
Custer Nelson's on the outside of Cindric, and we have a caution on the track for what I don't know.
Here's a look. BJ McLeod at the back of the pack, up the inside of Kaz Grala, and simply wrecks himself right there. You see it all. I mean, talk about a loss of talent, all on his lonesome. A big hit there to the outside wall. Ready to go back green. Kyle Busch, Christopher Buescher, and Cole Custer all stayed on the racetrack while Ryan Blaney on back pitted. You see Logano lost a few spots there to both Elliott and his teammate Ryan Blaney, but the top three all remain on the racetrack. They can make it at the end of the stage one, so you didn't need to pit, but many drivers, of course, did. Denny Hamlin catches that outside wall briefly right there in the background now. As you can see, Custer and Buescher holding up this 12, and on back there you see Kyle Larson trying to go around the outside briefly of Joey Logano. Larson no longer in this playoff, just really trying to win as many races as he possibly can. Jay, there you see Denny Hamlin. He is in need of some stage points here in stage one, and right now he's battling his teammate Christopher Bell for P10. Not ideal for Hamlin. You'd think Bell maybe would let up and let him have the position.
Yeah, Hamlin's going to need a lot more than just a couple of stage points as well. He's going to need to go and finish top 5.
Stage 1, Kyle Busch is going to cruise to a stage victory, and that battle for the final few spots in the stage continues now. Busch crosses the line. Multiple playoff drivers with stage points, and Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell will get the final 2. Harvick going to come up just short there in P11. William Byron as well, a little bit short. Truex, Bowman, as well as Reddick, the other playoff drivers with no stage points, and then of course Ross Chastain. Ready to go green for stage 2. Pit stops cycled through. We see quite a bit of change-ups at the front. Kyle Larson was able to get out in front, Jay. Kyle Busch, of course, he went to the back, and so did Custer as well as Christopher Buescher. We still see Blaney and Logano up here in the mix, but Alex Bowman was able to cycle himself back towards the front. Truex has gained some track position as well. Hamlin, he loses a few positions there, so he's got some work to do, but Chastain as well. Byron, they were able to make some gains, but we also see the 45 of Kurt Busch lost a good chunk of ground. Not good for that number 45, but obviously he was in a realistic must-win scenario already to begin with, and we weren't quite seeing that speed out of him. Maybe a little bit extra time on the pit lane for that 45, get some better adjustments in that number 45 machine.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see if Kurt Busch can make his way through the field. It's been hard to pass so far, so we'll have to wait and see if it's perhaps a little bit easier for Kurt Busch here, is if he got adjustments in that car and is able to make his way forward. He's pretty much, again, Gary, looking at a must-win situation. As Hamlin also the same, kind of the same position up towards the front, not in a must-win situation, but in a must-score, much better point situation. And right now for him,
Denny Hamlin, this is not what he needs. He's having a solid run, and so is Michael McDowell, by the way, but a solid top 10 run. But it's just simply when you come into the stage, 14 points now below the cut line, and the guys you need to beat are still running ahead of you. unfortunately, 8th place, a solid top 10 is just not going to cut it right now for that number 11 team. We saw some big crashes. It's been forever since we've gone there. The leader of Chase Elliott briefly gets into the outside while there. Kyle Larson goes wide as well. Not even a contest for Chase Elliott. He is going to lead the way to come through to win stage 2 here momentarily as he comes through this final chicane. And sure enough, Elliott wins stage 2 from the Charlotte Roval. Kyle Larson is going to be 2nd place. Logano, Hamlin is not going to be enjoying this one because Logano and Blaney up inside the top 5, and the top 10 gets rounded out by William Byron. So a lot of work to be done. But drivers coming into the pit lane here at the conclusion of the stage. And Jay, that is an interesting one right there, and actually very interesting. Elliott pits. Hamlin is going to come in as well, but we're going to see Logano, Blaney, Bowman, Christopher Bell, and several others. Oh, Hamlin's picked up a bunch of damage, it appears, actually, on that number 11 machine while under caution. So you can see the front end right there. That is not good news for Denny Hamlin, but absolutely perfect news for every single car above that cut line.
So right now it's really gonna need an ultimate choke, Gary, from Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, anybody else up towards the front of this field right now. And right now Denny Hamlin with the no front or rear end of the car is, I mean, it's looking increasingly bleak for that 11 car. And at this point, like you said, gonna take a miracle for anybody, especially Denny Hamlin. I mean, we still got Kurt Busch who could do it, but he's not inside the top 10 currently. Tyler Reddick, however, is inside the top 10 right now. So, there's a caution on the track. We have yellow flag waving. Something has happened. We have our second caution of the day. It looks like it might be for Landon Castle.
Here's a look, and it ignites with that driver right there, Denny Hamlin. Things go from bad to worse into the outside wall. The 66 of Yaley collected. The 77 of Castle as well goes hard into the barrier. He goes crashing. The 16 gets involved. Multiple drivers there in one accident. The caution flies in the Roval. Could that be a bit of an indicator of what's to come now? This final stage, everyone going for it. There you see Alex Bowman now trying to catch the number 12 off guard.
Certainly could be. Just saw side by side there with Alex Bowman and Ryan Blaney, and I thought both of them were going to be involved in the crashes. I saw both of them go kind of wild. More too wide in the background as well. William Byron, Kyle Busch side by side. It looks like Tyler Reddick and Kevin Harvick as well side by side. So a lot of these playoff drivers starting to scrap it out a little bit. And Kevin Harvick has some front end damage to that car as well. So some contact somewhere in this race for Kevin Harvick, as he almost had some contact right there again with Chastain too. And you can see Chastain, Gary, and Tyler Reddick both. They know at this point they have to win. So they're going to be ultra aggressive, ultra desperate. There goes Suarez getting turned right in front of Justin Haley. That should be a caution. No caution yet. Chase Elliott goes,
we got cars piling in.
And somehow,
no caution.
Somehow no caution. We've had a lot of guys, I think, make contact under the cautions we've had today when they get stacked up together. And just in front of them, there's Kurt Busch, who is continuing to battle with the 41 car of Cole Custer. And Gary, I think this is going to be perhaps a little bit of a disappointing end to Kurt Busch's season, but still, the fact that he made it into the second round of the playoffs after having such a terrible regular season, I think is going to be something for Kurt Busch to be proud of, because there's not a damn thing happening, so I'm just trying to ramble off whatever I can.
Caution is out, so that gives us a little bit of something to talk about once we find out what the caution's for. Here's a look. Christopher Buescher loses it out of turn 1, into the barrier and into the other barrier. Hard contact there, not even around like Suarez was earlier, but this time they throw the caution. Going green for what could be the final time here from the Charlotte Road Course. Kyle Larson leads the field back, looking for another win on the season here. And what's been a low winning season, he has a great start. Michael McDowell gets the elbows out of the inside of Christopher Bell. Jay, there was no takers in the pit lane, so nothing changes there. So Logano, Blaney, I mean, as much as I'm sure they would like to win the race, they can go on cruise control because they know they can cruise into the now round of 8 here just by making it back to the checkered flag over these final 4 laps. We talk about the what ifs. I mean, Christopher Bell, eliminated in a tiebreaker. Caution's flying. Caution is flying. Oh, it's the 16 of Allmendinger. It's not been a day that you expect from the road ringer, but that might be the end of the race. Here's a look. While we're under caution, it's a big one. Allmendinger goes wide and loses it right there. Gets in the wall, contact with Cindric, and up and over goes the 16 with help from Eric Almirola. Lands on all 4 wheels. A violent crash here in what could end the race potentially under yellow. NASCAR is ending the race under caution. Kyle Larson will win here from the Charlotte Road Course. Logano, Blaney, Bowman, you see the rest of the finishing order there coming to the line. And Jay, the same 4 that came in below the cut line. Hamlin, Reddick, Kurt Busch, and Ross Chastain are the same 4 that will be eliminated here today. What could have been for Denny Hamlin? Kurt Busch had a good run, made it this far. Chastain never had the round he wanted. Same for Reddick, and of course Hamlin. Just one bad set of circumstances in Texas when he was battling for the lead